Hello and welcome to V-EB02's Cardfight Vanguard weekly update. My name is James, and this week we have had loads of cards shown to us, and even some information about a newly announced booster. It's only 2 weeks until the release of V-EB02 in Japan, so expect to see a lot of cards flooding through for the next couple of days. First up, I'll go through the Dimension Police cards shown. I'll go through the Dimensional Robo series to start with, and we get the RR Grade 1 Dimensional Robo Die Brave. Its first skill is Act Vanguard Circle Rearguard Circles once per turn, costs Soul Blast 1, and one of your Vanguards gets plus 5,000 power until the end of turn. Now, a few of the cards do go into, so this should be a nice consistent power buff. Its second skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. When your Vanguard's attack hits a Vanguard, cost, put this unit into your soul and draw a card. Every draw that deep is important, as one of their weaknesses in the past was a lack of defense. But this is a fair way of giving them defense, and it can also their abilities. Dimensional Robo Die Tiger can also fuel the soul with its skill of Auto Rearguard Circle. When your Vanguard's attack hits the Vanguard, cost, put it into the soul, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. It's a 1-for-1 essentially, and affects some clans a lot less than others. But even against something like Royal Paladin, who are pretty good at refueling their ranks, getting rid of Marin, Wingull, or Lion Mane Stallion in the back row can damage them a fair bit. Dimensional Robo Die Lander is great for lowering your opponent's defenses with its skill of Continuous Rearguard Circle. If your Vanguard's power is 30,000 or greater, your opponent cannot intercept. It's also nice and safe as a booster in the back row, and once your Vanguard's attack hits, you'll be able to activate skills of your other rearguards too. So this can be very useful for helping make that happen. We also get to see the starting Vanguard, which is the classic Dimensional Robo Goyusha. No superior riding this time, but the draw will help Dimension Police a lot. On to the rest of Dimension Police, we have a new series of cards. These are the Miracles. You may recognize Miracle Beauty from a long time ago, but the other two, Miracle Cutie and Miracle Dandy, are completely new. Miracle Beauty is a grade 3, and although she's only a single R, she does have the Force gift marker, which means she's the first grade 3 below II in a set that has the Force marker. Usually this treatment is only given to Axel clans. This could mean we'll be seeing more lower rarities getting gifts, which I would like to see, or it could just be because Force gifts are very important for Dimension Police. Anyway, onto Beauty's ability. Her first skill is Auto Vanguard Circle Rearguard Circle once per turn. When it attacks a Vanguard, if this unit's power is 30,000 or more, cost Counterblast 1 and stand one of your other Miracle Beauties on Rearguard Circle. All you need for this is the gift marker on her, and have a booster of at least 7,000 power, and you're set for her ability. Interesting that she specifically looks for other copies of herself, but to help this skill even more, she also has Auto Rearguard Circle. When she stands, stand one of your other rearguards in the same column as this unit. Being Dimension Police, this extra attack could mean a lot, and not even having to hit the opponent to get the skill means your opponent's really going to try hard to retire those rearguard Miracle Beauties. Miracle Cutie is a grade 2 with the skill Auto Rearguard Circle. When its attack hits a Vanguard, if your Vanguard's power is 30,000 or more, draw a card. This is really good and has no cost. You can easily fit this in Dimensional Robos if you don't plan on Miracle Beauty. If your opponent's hand is exhausted from guarding your Vanguard's huge power and possible extra critical, although this card's power probably won't be too high, there is still a nice chance that your opponent will have to let it hit. Finally, for Dimension Police, we have the other grade 2 Miracle Dandy. His skill is Continuous Guardian Circle. If your Vanguard's grade is 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 10,000 shield. A fantastic intercept, and we saw Spikes also get something similar, so this may become a norm for Force clans. On to Grand Blue, we have the VR King of Demonic Seas, Baskirk. His first ability is Continuous Vanguard Circle. During your turn, if there are 10 or more cards in your drop zone, the second unit gets plus 5,000 power and plus 1 critical. This doesn't seem to cause too much pressure, but his second skill suddenly helps this a lot. It is Act Vanguard Circle once per turn, cost Counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1, call a card from your drop zone to Rearguard Circle, and for each grade of the called unit, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of turn. This is an amazing skill, and calling a grade 3 will put Baskirk at plus 20,000 and plus 1 critical for the turn. A great target for this card is the grade 3 Dragon Undead Skull Dragon. Skull Dragon is a RR and has 3 abilities, although the first and third ones are more restrictions. The first one is Continuous Hands. This card cannot be normal called. So basically, you want this either on your Vanguard Circle or in the drop zone as soon as possible. Its second skill is Continuous Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle during your turn. For each card in your drop zone, this unit gets plus 2,000 power. I really like Grand Blue's new focus on the amount of cards in the drop zone, and this works really well into that strategy, and makes a huge rearguard for Baskirk to bring out. His first and final ability is Auto Rearguard Circle. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, retire. This may seem a little harsh, but it actually gives room for mid-battle calls, giving a nice empty slot for something to be cool to. We don't know yet if Grand Blue will be getting mid-battle calls, but if they do, it will probably be limited. This on Vanguard Circle allows you to continue its terrifyingly strong attacks without it going away, but with Baskirk as your Vanguard, it could prove to be even more terrifying with several huge attacks. Ruin Shade is a RRR grade 2 with Auto Vanguard Circle Rearguard Circle. When it attacks Vanguard, costs put 2 cards from the top of your deck into your drop zone, and this unit gets plus 4000 power until the end of turn. Not only is the power up nice for when you're against Force clans, but the milling of 2 cards is an amazing setup for the clan. And its second ability is simply Continuous Rearguard Circle during your turn. If there are 10 or more cards in your drop zone, this unit gets plus 4000 power. This puts her at 17,000 power on her own, which will be irritating for Protect and Excel grade 3s. Not to mention a normal 8k grade 1 puts this at a huge 25,000 power. Dundee Guy Romario, he's another RRR, but he's a grade 1. His first skill is the simple Continuous Rearguard Circle. If there are 10 or more cards in your drop zone, this unit gets plus 4000 power, putting the Ruin Shade column at 29,000 power. Though his second skill is another one for setup, and it's Auto, when rolled upon, cost counter plus 1, and put a card from your hand into your soul. Put the top 3 cards of your deck into your drop zone, and put a card from your drop zone into your hand. Not only is this good setup, but it can help prevent you from being grade stuck, or put some good defensive cards in your hand like heal triggers or perfect guards. 3 cards into the drop zone so early is a great start to the game for the Grand Blue, and a good reason to run 3 to 4 of this guy. Captain Night Mist is a RRR grade 2 with a very good ability of Auto Rearguard Circle when placed, cost counter plus 1 and call a grade 1 or less card from your drop zone to rearguard. If there are 10 or more cards in your drop zone, you may call any grade. This superior call early game is fantastic and just gets better later on. It doesn't specify Night Mist having to be called from hand to activate his ability, so you can superior call him from the drop zone and then chain his ability to increase your numbers on the field while still keeping the cards in your hand. Evil Shade is a grade 1 with a pretty fair superior call skill of Act Rearguard Circle once per turn, cost counter plus 1 and choose a card from your drop zone and bind it face up. Choose a card from your drop zone with the same card name as the card bound for the cost and call it a Rearguard Circle. The reason I mention how fair it is because you can't easily exploit it thanks to the binding, and it makes the drop zone seem more like its own form of resource for Grand Blue. It also starts to lower the cards in the drop zone by 2 each time, meaning you need to be very careful not to step on your own toes with ruining your drop zone count requirements. This skill is still amazing though, and can possibly do some early game superior calling if you're lucky. Finally for Grand Blue, there is the grade 1 Painful Bullet Knight Gavir. Its skill is Auto Rearguard Circle when placed. Put the top card of your deck into the drop zone. If you have 10 or more cards in your drop zone, this unit gets plus 10,000 power until the end of turn. Not as useful as Ruin Shade for setup, but a nice big boost in the late game with that power up. A great card to put behind Baskirk to make his extra critical scarier. Now onto Aquaforce, we have the RRR grade 1 Battle Siren Bibiana. Her skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. When an attack that it boosted hits Vanguard, if it is the third battle of the turn or more, cost put this card into your soul, draw a card, and one of your units gets plus 3000 power until the end of turn. Like Dimension Police, drawing cards has always been very important for Aquaforce, and plus 3k is a slightly annoying amount as it isn't enough for a grade 2 to hit a Force grade 3 on their own. But for Protect and Excel clans, if they don't have the 5k shield in their hand, or they only have grade 2s that they want to keep, they're going to having to guard such a small number, and will most likely overguard. Storm Rider Basil is a grade 2 with Auto Rearguard Circle when it attacks Vanguard. If it's the third battle of the turn or more, cost counter plus 1, this unit gets plus 5000 power until the end of battle. If it is the fourth battle of the turn or more, it gets plus 10,000 power instead of 5000 power. On an Excel circle, he becomes a pretty big 29k, and with something like Bibiana's ability, it allows Basil to be a 32k, making it a 25k shield for 12k grade 3s. Light Signal's Penguin Soldier is back with a lot more power than before, this time being the standard 8000 power. His first skill is Act Rearguard Circle, cost rest this unit, and one of your units in the same column as this unit gets plus 5000 power until the end of turn. This becomes very worth it if you can restand the chosen rearguard once or twice, making it seem a lot more like plus 10,000 power or plus 15,000 power. His second skill is Auto Rearguard Circle. When your other unit attacks, if it is the fourth battle of the turn or more, cost retire this card and countercharge 1. This is incredibly useful as Aquaforce do have a lot of counterblasting so far, and if this is the only countercharger they get in the set, then this will definitely be a 4 of. Also, a lot of the trial deck cards have been spoiled this week. The main grade 3 Naval Gazer Dragon is here. His first skill is Auto Vanguard Circle when it attacks. If it is the third battle of the turn or more, cost Counterblast 1, stand one of your rear guards, and that unit gets plus 10,000 power until the end of the turn. This is going to combo nicely with the aforementioned Light Signals Penguin, and the standing something back up on an Axel Circle makes the power buff plus 20,000, and comboing it with Basil can allow a rear guard at 30,000 power on a plus 30,000 power in Excel, though this would cost 2 Counterblasts. The second grade 3 of the deck is Marine General of Raging Waves Gondikas. He has the fairly simple skill of Auto Rearguard Circle when it attacks a Vanguard. If it is not boosted, this unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of the battle, meaning 17k normally, or 27k on XL. Another great target for Naval Gazer, putting in at 37,000 power. Counterblasts are used a lot in Aquaforce, so luckily we have Shotgun Assault. His skill uses the other main resource of the game, the Soul, which we haven't seen much Soul blasting in Aquaforce. His skill is Auto Rearguard Circle when it attacks Vanguard. If it is the third battle of the turn or more, costs Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets plus 8,000 power until the end of the battle. We also have Bibiana, who goes into the Soul, and we'll likely see more things like it. Basil is slightly better against Force grade 3s, but if you feel you're running out of Counterblasts quickly, then Shotgun Assault may be better for you. Now, Battle Siren Dorothea is one that some people like and some people hate. Her skill is Act Rearguard Circle, costs Counterblast 2, and one of your units gets plus 8,000 power until the end of the turn. If we see another countercharger, I can see this card being used, or maybe even now in some decks. That unit keeping the 8,000 power until the end of the turn can be really nice if it restands once or twice. I know that restand will likely also cost a counterblast, but that's why Aquaforce really need a second countercharger to make this work. However, just because it's overcosted does not mean it's useless. Although Dorothea can be useful, she will most likely be overshadowed by a very popular old grade 1. Though he was just a vanilla back in the day, people love this card, and it is Tier Knight Theo. He's a grade 1 with the ability Auto Vanguard Circle Rearguard Circle. When it's attack or an attack it boosted hit a Vanguard, if it is the second battle of the turn or more, one of your other units gets plus 8,000 power until the end of turn. It may be a non-hit, but it's going to add a lot of pressure to your attacks, and he's pretty safe on the back row. Lastly for the deck, we have some of the basically confirmed cards of the trial deck. We have Storm Rider Stelios, who is grade 1 vanilla with 9,000 power and 0 shield. Battle Siren Emelda, who is the perfect guard, grade 1. And Officer Cadet Eric, who is the starting Vanguard that on ride lets you draw a card. From the EB, we also have the R Draw Trigger Perfect Guards announced. Diamond Ace is the perfect guard for Dimension Police, Gustin is for Foreground Blue, and Emerald Shield Pascal for Aquaforce. Finally for the week, we have news about a set that comes out after Booster Set 2. It is the Mini Booster 01 Rivalry of Psyqualia. It only contains Royal Paladin and Kagura support, but if you're worrying that they are going to get too much support in comparison to the other clans, there are only 8 new cards in the set, and 28 reprints, meaning this set is mostly here to just give Aichi and Kai something to play with before the end of the first season. It does come with VRs, which are Exculpate the Blaster for Royal Paladin and Transcendence Dragon Dragonic Nouvelle Vague for Kagura. Although King of Knights Alfred is a good card, it doesn't seem quite up there when it comes to the other VRs, though Exculpate the Blaster could be what helped Royal Paladins out. As for Nouvelle Vague, if it's still a grade 4, there could actually be a good way to balance the card. You can still have a very good ability like Waterfall, but wouldn't be able to ride back to grade 3, limiting the amount of gifts and soul Kagura could get. Some other news on the set is the borderless cards, shown here by Yggdrasil Maiden Elaine. From what we know, only the grade 0s get this treatment, and will come in both their normal forms and this borderless form. Also, common cards in this set have a chance of being foil, and the set includes 16 gift markers featuring scenes from the anime, though there is a chance these markers will only be Force, as the 2 clans involved are both for Force. There are 6 cards in total in this set, 2 VRs, 4 triple Rs, 6 double Rs, 10 single Rs, and 14 commons, as well as 2 extra SVRs, though apart from the VRs, we don't know how many of the rarities are actually going to be reprints. That is everything from this week. Remember that V-EB02 cards shown this week can be pre-ordered on bigorbitcards.co.uk, and the trial deck cards will be available at a later date. Also, Big Orbit will be hosting a Cardfight Vanguard tournament, TCG Con at Stratford-upon-Avon in the UK on August the 18th to the 19th, as well as a standard and premium tournament for the Vanguard. We will also be hosting tournaments for Final Fantasy TCG and Dragon Ball Super TCG. The links for more information and to buy the tickets will be in the description. And please let me know your feelings on these new cards shown this week, and let me know your thoughts on the mini booster as well, whether you're a fan of it or not. There are a lot of reprints in the mini booster, but I think this is a good way to give the main clans some extra support in the anime without over supporting them. I hope to see you next week, where I'll be going through the cards shown throughout the next 7 days. Bye!